So this is the Ursack that I've been using. I have posted in a lot of my videos, so I use it on all of my camping trips and all my canoe trips. I tie this to a tree close to ground level, so you don't have to do a bear hang. By doing that, it's much quicker. You can always find a tree. And we're out on one of the islands of Philip Edward Island on the south side, and we saw a big bear just before we went to bed out on the other side of the island, sort of a horseshoe shaped island. He was on the other side, and great big bear came in. Of course, the young group that just left that campsite left it a mess. I went over there and checked it this morning, and there was food or wrappers and stuff in the fire pit. So anyway, we watched him feeding there for a bit. We actually got some pictures of him doing that. We didn't hear him come into camp last night, but this morning, just upwind of us, so if he comes around to the island and comes up towards us, he would pass our fire pit first, which is where we cooked our dinner last night. And I left all the pots, all clean, but all the pots and everything, I like to leave them out, so if bear does come into camp, I hear the noise of him going through that stuff. But he bypassed that and went straight to the bag of food that was well upwind of the tent, so he had to go right past our tent to the north end of the island, or the west end of the island, right to the very point. One pine tree there. I had this bag and my two canoe packs tied to the same tree. Didn't think the bear came because we didn't hear anything, but sure enough he did. So here's all the teeth marks. I've never seen this before. This is him trying to get in, so you can see little teeth marks there, but he couldn't. Little scratch mark there, claws, actually you can see the claws, and teeth marks penetrate, barely penetrate in a couple of spots, but you can see all the spots. So one spot he actually got a thread going, but no real damage. So I'm going to open it up and see what the food looks like inside. Okay, so I showed you the damage to the bag itself, not too bad. So a couple of spots where his tooth just went through between the threads. He did penetrate this plastic bag, which is supposed to be scent free. Problem is, this bag, I need to wash that between trips because that would get some food on it each trip. So he would have smelled that. Plus this bag is getting a little ragged and old, so it probably wasn't 100% sealed. So he did smell it. He did find the food. Really hard to fool a bear's sense of smell though. But inside, so that's that little bit of damage. But other than that, like, you can get aluminum liners for this, so it goes on the outside of that, but the inside of this bag, and it's supposed to stop the teeth from penetrating. But you know, I'm pretty happy with that. There's a lot of stuff in here that could have been damaged. Toiletries were in the bag. All this food, you know, tube of jam, things of oil. That's what I was afraid of, that something like that would get penetrated by or crushed by his jaws, but everything's fine. Even the oil's fine. None of that got crushed, so that's perfectly fine. I won't bother ever getting a liner. I'll just get a second bag as a backup and keep them clean. That was a big bear last night, probably 300-400 pound bear, and he wasn't able to penetrate this, so I'm happy with the performance, and I'll continue to do exactly what I've been doing.